This is the most helpful book ever published. Tutorials, Quick Start Training Manual, Analyses Building Course. Welcome to the educational training references for the most helpful book ever published. This material has been prepared to assist you for a better understanding of the valuable concepts and lessons offered in this rare work of literature called the most helpful book ever published. Use this easy training manual to increase your comprehension for a better experience to enjoy this rare work of literature. This is the Quick Start Training Manual. This Quick Start tutorial is very easy to use. This informative material is specially designed to quickly provide a fast and easy quality comprehension to guide you through this interesting and exciting lesson for your added enjoyment. Learn so much more using this tutorial guide. The Quick Start Training Manual is designed and written for the most helpful book ever published. About the manual. Use this Quick Start Manual as a supplement guide for additional information that teaches users of the most helpful book ever published how to easily use this book. Improve comprehension with screenshots of the actual book pages showing easy and simple steps to get you up and running immediately, making the material more fun and interesting to learn. Learn all about using the interesting concepts presented in the most helpful book ever published to help you understand how to interpret the material in easier ways, adding to your knowledge and enjoyment. Now learning is even more fun. Use this specially prepared manual for assistance. General Training Manual Contents. Training Manual Subject Title, Date, with a general introduction to content description. Quick Start Training Manual Logo Cover. Learning Aid Acknowledgement to the most helpful book ever published and copyright. The General Training Manual Contents page. The Quick Start lesson containing easy steps instructions with actual page screenshots. Now, here is the lesson. Understanding Learn and Adopt Analyses. What is a Learn and Adopt Analyses? Each chapter contains a separate Learn and Adopt Analyses section for all four groups being earth, air, water, and fire. These are the natural consistent patterns of personality observed which distinguish the four different groups. They are what you should already be naturally doing, as you are already doing them anyway, and should be easy to recognize. The Learn and Adopt Analyses are based on factual observations witnessed in real life, not beliefs, from the permanent patterns of repeated designs used by nature, over and over again, forming the Learn and Adopt analysis for your particular birth date range in each of the four groups. This new science is gentle and never imposing, or dictating to anyone, and helps everyone to learn more about themselves to increase success, and nobody ever gets left behind. For example, look at the Learn and Adopt analyses on page 15 of Chapter 1 for the Earth group shown here. As you first look at the screenshot of page 15 from the most helpful book ever published, here, at the very top, and then look at the second screenshot shown below of a close-up of the first analysis for the Earth group on the same page of 15, only this is a blow-up and it states, Analysis 1, you have a tendency to be in contact with living creatures. The living creature can be a pet, insect, another person, or plant life. Anything that is alive. This strong urge needs fulfillment in your life. Next, here is how to use this Learn and Adopt analysis presented here, as this is only an example to show what a Learn and Adopt analysis looks like. To actually use it is very simple and pertains to people with birth date ranges in the Earth group, which can easily be determined by a chart that will be shown later. For now, only remember that this is an example illustration of a Learn and Adopt analysis. First, obtain your copy of the most helpful book ever published. The cover is shown here. This book, known as the most helpful book ever published, took 10 years to prepare and a lifetime to master, so it could be made very easy for others to comprehend. It is written with your comfort in mind so that you can start just about anywhere reading this material, as there is no specific order to achieve a quality comprehension. Also, you don't have to read the whole book ever, only the sections that pertain to you, as this will be explained with very easy comprehension to see that you won't be reading with much labor at all, with mostly short readings. Second, determine what group you are in, being earth, air, water, or fire. Simply find your birth date range in one of the 4 groups listed in the chart showing the birth date ranges. Determine which birthday group you belong to. Carefully read the next few paragraphs to identify what birth date range group you are in. You will need this information throughout the rest of this material to reveal the trends observed about you. Third, double check to see if you are a mix. A mix is a person considered to have 2 birth date ranges and is determined by having a particular birth date as indicated on a mix chart, shown here. Determine if you are a mix by examining column A. If you are a mix, find your letter code in column D. Remember this letter code. Each chapter in the most helpful book ever published contains many learn and adopt analyses with posted letter codes at all learn and adopt analyses in all chapters and throughout every chapter, so you know what learn and adopt analyses sections to examine with your posted letter code. Simply look for your letter code prior to examining a learn and adopt analyses. If your letter code is not posted at a particular learn and adopt analyses, then it is not intended as a selection that pertains to you. For example, on page 15 of chapter 1 of the most helpful book ever published shown in the blow-up screenshot, at the bottom, you will notice a list of letter codes above each learn and adopt analysis posted. Look for your letter code posted above each learn and adopt analysis of each group in all 8 chapters. Fourth, after identifying your group, or if you are a mix, locate and start reading all of the learn and adopt analyses in each chapter. Place a check mark in the square box or line next to only one learn and adopt analysis in each chapter. Select only one that you feel is the best for you. Only choose one and move on to the next chapter. Finish by completing all 8 chapters. Or, if you are a mix, locate and start examining all of the learn and adopt analyses in the 2 groups you belong to in each chapter. Because you are a mix having 2 groups, a little of both, the actual birth date range containing your birthday that lacks enough exposure because too much influence was missed, too late or too early a birth, in your actual birth date range. Being a mix makes you part of both groups, a little of both, but place a check mark in the square box or line next to only one learn and adopt analysis, in only one, of the 2 groups, in every chapter. Select only one, learn and adopt analysis, that you feel is the best for you. Only choose one, learn and adopt analysis, of the 2 groups you are of, and move on to the next chapter. Finish by completing all 8 chapters. You will end up with only 8 learn and adopt analyses in total, no more. As you go through each chapter, remember that the learn and adopt analyses is often quite simple, what you naturally do, and are specific reflections of the natural patterns observed in each group. Follow them in order to maintain the best fit natural path through life. Select the learn and adopt analyses you are most comfortable with, that you often do anyway. Adopt that learn and adopt analysis as much as you possibly can. For example, shown here is the learn and adopt analyses of a close-up of the 3 analysis for the Earth group on page 15 of the most helpful book ever published. As you first look at the screenshot of page 15 from the most helpful book ever published, here, now look at the very bottom at the second screenshot shown below of a close-up of the first analysis for the major trends observed for the Earth group in chapter 1, on page 15, of the most helpful book ever published. This is a single analysis blow-up of analysis 1, and it states, Analysis 1, you have a tendency to be in contact with living creatures. The living creature can be a pet, insect, another person, or plant life. Anything that is alive. This strong urge needs fulfillment in your life. Next, here is how to use this learn and adopt analysis presented here. These learn and adopt analyses are a source of help for you to learn from about yourself, and that hopefully you will adopt by selecting it. For example, each of the 8 chapters contains what is called a learn and adopt analyses section, or what's known as one of nature's trends that is presented for you to learn from. This is very fun and simple to do by allowing you to only check off one learn and adopt analysis you agree to in the whole chapter, only one, and the only one that you feel comfortable with. That is right. You only need to select one learn and adopt analysis in all of the 8 chapters. This is very simple because the learn and adopt analyses in each chapter section is a very simple question that you read about and learn from, and if you check it off and select it, you will have completed the chapter. Very simple. All you need to do is check the box next to this natural trend or this learn and adopt analysis, if you agree to this natural pattern, being presented to you, and so on until you have browsed through all of them in the chapter, and decided on the one that you like. And so on until you have completed all 8 chapters. That is all you need to do here, very easy, and you will learn about natural personality patterns at the same time. This incredible book, known as the most helpful book ever published, is very fun and educational to learn from. Use this special instruction section here only for the learn and adopt analyses for Chapter 7. Only in Chapter 7 is there a 3-part selection where you have 3 boxes or lines to check off, or a total of 3 different selections to pick. For example, look at the Learn and Adopt Analyses screenshot from page 49 of Chapter 7 for the Earth group shown here at the top. You will notice 3 boxes or lines to check off, or a total of 3 different selections to pick from. Next, as you look at the Learn and Adopt Analyses screenshot from page 49 of Chapter 7 for the Earth group shown at the middle here, you will see a close-up of the compatibility analyses for the Earth group from Chapter 7. Again, you will notice 3 boxes or lines to check off, or a total of 3 different selections to pick from. This screenshot brings you a closer look at the 3 selections to see them more clear. Finally, as you look at the Learn and Adopt Analyses screenshot from page 49 of Chapter 7 for the Earth group shown at the very bottom here, you will see a close-up of the compatibility analyses for the Earth group from Chapter 7. Again, you will notice 3 boxes or lines to check off, or a total of 3 different selections to make. This screenshot brings you a much closer look at the 3 selections to see them larger and more clear. Next, with these 3 different views displayed to you, follow these instructions. Seen are 3 square boxes or lines to select from, and they are first place, second place, or third place. Check the first place box if you have a first place compatibility. In this example, if you were of the Earth group with a birth date range from August 23rd to September 22nd, you would have to have a birth date range partner from April 20 to May 20 for a first place compatibility. Check the second place box if you do not have a first place compatibility, but only a second place compatibility. In this example, if you were of the Earth group with a birth date range from August 23rd to September 22nd, you would have to have a birth date range, it says, from any medium adherence person, or any, meaning the 3 other groups being the water group with a medium adherence person birth date range explained on page 50 of the most helpful book ever published. Or, being the air group with a medium adherence person birth date range explained on page 52 of the most helpful book ever published. Or, being the fire group with a medium adherence person birth date range explained on page 51 of the most helpful book ever published. In other words, in this example, if you were of the Earth group with a birth date range from August 23rd to September 22nd, you would have to have a birth date range, it says, from any medium adherence person, or any, meaning the 3 other groups being the water group or the air group or the fire group with a medium adherence person birth date range from any one of those groups explained in the most helpful book ever published. Finally, check the third place box if you do not have a first or second place compatibility, but only a third place compatibility. In this example, if you were of the Earth group with a birth date range from August 23rd to September 22nd, you would have to have a birth date range, it says, from any Earth pet or any pet from all birth date ranges of the Earth group being April 20 to May 20, or August 23rd to September 22nd, or December 22nd to January 19th. In other words, in this example, if you were of the Earth group with a birth date range from August 23rd to September 22nd, you would have to have a birth date range pet partner from April 20 to May 20, or August 23rd, to September 22nd, or December 22nd, to January 19th, to have a third place compatibility. So, what is the meaning of adherence with compatibility? Well, it is good to pair the groups best with compatible adherence levels. The adherence level that limits your ability to stay with your goals for a long period can have a profound effect on relationships. The groups Earth, Air, Water, and Fire all tend to have 3 levels of adherence. They are high, medium, and low adherence levels. The high, medium, and low adherence levels are distinct natural occurrences in each group determining which person has a stronger tendency to stay with their goals. These observed trends, which anyone can observe for himself or herself, occur most often enough to consider them reliable trends. So, why should adherence levels be considered in observations for each group's compatibility? Well, adherence levels can interfere with compatibility. For example, if you pair someone with a low adherence level, requiring much change, and someone with a high adherence level, requiring very little change, this pair would tend to become frustrated, ruining the relationship. The low adherence level would keep uprooting the high adherence level. Matching people with compatible adherence levels and not the same tends to result in lasting relationships. There is one compatible birth date range having a medium adherence in each group that can pair up with the other 2 birth date ranges for better compatibility. It occurs naturally and is consistent enough to occur most of the time as the best compatible pair. What if for any reason that none of the learn and adopt analyses can be applied in any given chapter? In other words, you can't seem to find a learn and adopt analyses at the end of some, or all of the chapters, you feel you can apply. Well, if for any reason that none of the learn and adopt analyses can be applied in any given chapter, write down your reason by filling out the simple, end of chapter record section, located at the end of each chapter. For example, shown here is the end of chapter record section, for chapter 1. Your reason is very important no matter what it is, even if it is just a feeling. This reason you write is considered a variable or blockage that is an obstacle preventing you from experiencing what should naturally be occurring in your life. Record your reasoning at the end of each chapter, writing down if you think your reason or the variable is temperate or permanent in nature. The purpose of the learn and adopt analyses, which is presented for you to learn from, is where your source of help is, and hopefully that you will adopt by checking off the posted box, to select it, to receive credit through a score. This is simple to do and means no more struggling in your life trying to guess what you are good at, who your best companion is, or what career you are cut out for. The 8 chapters work similar to an X-ray machine, detecting any obstructions trying to block your success or not by allowing you to score up to 100% as a self-evaluation tool to help you monitor your progress as you go through the 8 chapters. The 8 chapters look for any blockages of what should naturally be occurring in all 8 measures of the 8 chapters. These blockages or variables can be permanent or temperate in nature and should be recorded and worked on, if possible, over time to improve yourself and scores. This concludes the tutorial.